This is Elizabeth here with your usual program Sunday School. Today we're going to read the book of Numbers chapter 3, and the title says the Levites. So this chapter 3 is going to talk in detail about the Levites, because the Levites were the tribe set aside to serve the Israelites as priests, and they were put in charge of all works of the tabernacle, moving it, furnishing it, and all the rest of it. So even when they were counting them in chapter 1, the Israelites, the whole population of the Israelites, God told Moses not to include the Levites because they had special assignments to be done. So here today we're going to read about their duties and how God did it all. So let's go in verse 3. In chapter 1, verse 1. This is the account of the family of Aaron and Moses at the time the Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. The names of the sons of Aaron were Nadab, the firstborn, Abihu, Eleazar, and Itmar. Those were the names of Aaron's sons, the anointed priests, who were ordained to serve as priests. And this was in Leviticus. So Nadab and Abihu, however, passed away before the Lord when they made an offering with unauthorized fire before him in the desert of Mount Sinai. So in Leviticus, we read about that when God told Moses to tell Aaron to bring his sons so they can ordain them as priests. But these two, Nadab and Abihu, they did something without God authorizing them. Even nowadays, there are people like that. The minute they give them positions, they can misuse their positions. They can abuse their power. So in those times, you cannot be serving God, him instructing you, and you fail to listen to instructions and do things by yourselves. You will get the consequences. So that was what happened to those two. So the only two sons now remaining for Aaron were Eleazar and Itmar, and they served as priests during the lifetime of their father Aaron. In verse 5, the Lord said to Moses, "Bring the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron, the priest, to assist him. They are to perform duties for him and for the whole community at the tent of meeting by doing the work of the tabernacle." So you see, they are still putting emphasis the duties of the priests to serve the community of the Israelites and to take the duties of the tabernacle of God. They are to take care of all the furnishings of the tent of meeting, fulfilling the obligations of the Israelites, and by doing the work of the tabernacle. Give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are the Israelites who are to be given wholly to him. Appoint Aaron and his sons to serve as priests. Anyone else who approaches the sanctuary is to be put to death. So did you see that? If they don't call you to go to the sanctuary of the tabernacle, you go there, they take up your life. Let me read that again. That's verse 10. Appoint Aaron and his sons to serve as priests. That is verse 10. Anyone else who approaches the sanctuary is to be put to death. So you see, if that is not your duty, don't go there. You listen to instructions, you follow those instructions, and take action with those instructions given to you. If you go above that, you will get the consequences. The Lord said to Moses in verse 11 now, "I have taken the Levites from among the Israelites in place of the first male offspring of every Israelite woman. The Levites are mine." So you see, God said these people, every first male offspring for any Levite family, I'm going to set them aside. They are mine because they are going to do the work of God for the people of Israel. Verse 14. The Lord said to Moses in the desert of Sinai, "Count the Levites by their families and clans. Count every male a month old or more." So you see, their own census is every human being, whether you're a newborn baby. They say a month old or more. They count them all. Unlike the other group of the Israelites, They were counting from 20 years and above to train them for the army. 20 years and above men, they put them aside, but they count the whole population. But that is how they were setting them in groups. So the Levites are counted as long as you have life. 1 year old and above, they were counted. These were the names of the Gershonite clans, Libni and Shimei, the Kohathite clans, and the rest. So the names are really queer. I'm not going to go into the details about those names. So in verse 26, now in verse 25, at the tent of meeting, the Gershonites were responsible for the care of the tabernacle and tents, its coverings and curtain that at the entrance to the tent of meeting. In verse 26, the curtains of the courtyard, the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and altar, and the ropes and everything related to their use. In verse 30, the leader of the families of the Kohathite clan was Eleazar, son of Isreal. So all these were just how example. That's why I'm skipping, because they are all the same thing. They are just naming people that were ahead in those. In verse 46, it says, redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceed the number of the Levites. Collect 5 shekels for each one, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 garaps. Give the money for the redemption of the additional Israelites to Aaron and his sons. So Moses collected the redemption money from those who exceeded the number redeemed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the Israelites, he collected silver weighing 1,365 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. So Moses gave the redemption money to Aaron and his sons as he was commanded by the word of the Lord. So you see, they counted these people, but there were people who exceeded the number they wanted. Let's go back in verse 38 or verse 37. As well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their bases, tent pegs, and ropes. In verse 38, Moses and Aaron and his sons were to camp to the east of the tabernacle toward the sunrise in front of the tent of meeting. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary on behalf of the Israelites. Anyone else who approached the sanctuary was to be put to death. So in anything, they are leaders. So the family of Aaron were really solely in charge, going into the sanctuary, coming back, furnishing. The others were elected, the other Levite family. That is why they were counted, to get a specific amount of people that will be set aside to assist these people that are leaders to the sanctuary or the tabernacle. So you that are excess in number, that is why they said they should redeem them, that they should free them from that task of being part of the Levite family. So they gave money for them to take them off, because they don't want that large crowd of people. Sometimes it's difficult to control large number of people. So they wanted specific amounts, and these are instructions sent by God through Moses. So they did as God asked, God commanded, and then Moses relayed the message to them. So they put most of the other people. So the total number of Levites counted at the Lord's command by Moses and Aaron according to their clans, including every male a month old or more, was 22,000. The Lord said to Moses, count all the firstborn Israelite males who are a month old or more, and make a list of their names. Take the Levites for me in place of all the firstborn of the Israelites, and the livestock of the Levites in place of all the firstborn of the livestock of the Israelites. I am the Lord. So you see, God was focusing on all firstborns, even unto their livestock. Livestock, their animals they were rearing. So God commanded Moses to tell them to take stock of them, the firstborns. He is the Lord that has said that. So Moses counted all of them, firstborn of all the Israelites, as the Lord commanded. The total number of the firstborn males, a month old or more, listed by name were 22,273. So you see, the first one they counted, just the Levites, they were 22,000. So, but when they included everybody, they amounted to 22,273. So the Lord said to Moses, take the Levites in place of all the firstborn Israel, and the livestock of the Levites in place of their livestock. The Levites are to be mine. I am the Lord. To redeem, that is where the verse 46 is saying now, to redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceed the number of the Levites. So God wanted 22,000 only to be set aside as Levites to take care of his work as priests and take care of the tabernacle. So the 273 exceeding, those were the people they asked to redeem them so that they can take them off from that task of being the family of the Levites serving God. And that is the end of chapter 2. Numbers chapter 2. Thank you. I see you in the next video and the next chapters. Bye bye.